Hey everyone, it's Kanza here, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So I recently had the opportunity to finish Pokemon Violet, and I thought I'd talk about it. Just going to be mentioning things that I liked with the story, the characters, the Pokemon, and then going from there. I won't be mentioning anything about bugs and all that stuff, so don't worry about that. It's just the core story and the gameplay. So yeah, let's get to it. The first thing I want to talk about is the region and the base story for the game. So Generation 9 starts like any other Pokemon game, introducing us to the Professor. However, in this case, it's the director of the school that we've enrolled in. He tells us everything that we need to know as a whole about the region and what to expect from the school. So to my knowledge, Paldea is based on the Iberian Peninsula. Listen, if I've butchered that name, please let me know in the comments. I'm so sorry. It consists of Spain and Portugal, just to give some background details on the region. And at this point in the game, I felt it had a really strong start. Like, it was really cool. The music was hitting, we get to see like how big the actual map is. And I know this was a big concern for a lot of people, myself included. This being the very first open world Pokemon game where you can go anywhere you want right at the start. So yeah, it was really cool to see how big the region was. And then we was actually introduced to our main protagonist for this game. And I'll be honest, the designs are very organic, and I can see where they got the inspiration from. And I really like how realistic they look in some ways, but they're not my favorite so far out of the series. I'll be honest, the starters for me in this region were a bit of a letdown. I know it's been a hot topic for a while, and I'll make another video covering which starters actually are my favorite. Since I played Pokemon with my two brothers, we kind of made a deal from the first game that we stick to like one starter type. So one of my brothers always picks fire, the other picks grass, and I always get water. So I was playing Quaxly throughout this whole game, and I did enjoy the starter despite all the backlash it got. Quaquaval, though, was a bit iffy, and I can see the reason for the discourse regarding him. But you have to remember like what they're basing their design and inspiration off of. I believe this one was more along the lines of like the Spanish and Mexican dancing vibe, which is like a key part of the culture of this region. So I kind of get where they're coming from. But yeah, it was still kind of iffy. The other two starters to me looks really cool. Sprigatito and Fuecoco were very interesting, but I will say that the overall Pokemon designs haven't been able to hold up to some of the older designs, which looked a lot more cooler in my opinion, and the evolutions made more sense. So the new addition to the group of rivals we've had throughout the series is none other than Nimona. So straight up, I actually really liked Nimona. She was fun. I like the fact that she was very simple with what her goal was in the game, and she was somewhat like relentless at it. Anytime you saw her, she'd be like, yo, let's fight, let's go now. So I feel like that was really cool. I like that like part of her personality. Something that was interesting was that she was already a champion. And I found that like really like, so are you the champion? But she wasn't, it was Gita. She's just completed the gym challenge and all of that stuff. And she was waiting for us to catch up so she could fight us for real. And I feel like that was a really cool plot point for the character. Her theme song was actually really cool. It's got like this one moment in it where it like really like pumps you up and you're like, okay, let's go. So I think, yeah, she's got one of the best theme songs I've heard throughout the series. So far, my favorite rival theme has to be Hugh's. Or was it? Yeah, Hugh? I always forget how to pronounce his name. But from my favorite game, Black and White, his theme song still, yeah, it's too good. But hers is definitely up there. Her theme song is really good. I think Nimona is a character that's going towards the right direction, I think, for Game Freak. As of recently, getting the rivals back on track to like how they used to be. Now, that's not to say that they shouldn't have like personalities or hobbies, but some of them were too overbearing. Like the rivals in X and Y, they were just really annoying. I did not like any of them. And I think the problem is like they're writing in too much plot points that they're not like seeing all the way to the end. And when sometimes the characters can like be really simple, and I think that works especially well, especially in this case where like their aim is practically the same as yours, and it's just who can be the best and the strongest trainer, which is fine. It doesn't really have to be too much other than that, and I think that's fine. Nimona overall, I would say the only downside to the character is that she was too easy. I do miss when rivals were a bit harder than this. She was really easy. And she even goes and picks the starter that's weaker to yours, which was interesting to me. I thought that she'd personally pick the counter, you know, because she's a champion, she knows typing. You know typing, right, Nimona? No, she knows typing. She knows typing. But I'd expect her to pick the one that's like better than yours, not weaker. So it was kind of interesting to me that she did that. But I think that's my only knock to the character. Everything else was really cool that she kind of did throughout the game. Okay, so this brings us on to my main points about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. The early game was really cool. I love the music. I have to say that I love the music. It's got one of the best soundtracks in any of the Pokemon games that I've played. of recent years. Just the music on the game is just phenomenal. Moving from where we meet Nimona, we go into the first open area, and yeah, it's from there. Like, this is where I feel like the game starts to kind of like spiral out of control. It's open world, so obviously you can do what you want, right? And that's not a bad thing. But the way that they've done it in this game, kind of, I don't know. It feels like it was missing something. So you get taken to the school, you do the whole introduction process, then they basically say, "Go find your treasure," and then this wasn't brought up ever again. Like, not really. And I was like, what is my treasure? And it's like, go find it. You got 3 routes, 3 paths you can do, and yeah, go find it. There wasn't really like that. It was just missing something, you know. Maybe it was just me, but I felt kind of lost with that whole saying, "Go find your treasure." But maybe that was just me. But yeah, you get told to go find your treasure, and that's basically like fight the gyms, do the legends quests, and then the team star stuff. So outside of that, talking about Pokemon designs, I didn't like any of them. I'm so sorry, but this region kind of missed for me design wise. I didn't necessarily like any of them. Like, even the first route, Fido, Lechonk. Like, what is that? I'm so sorry. I can't. Yeah, I tried my best, but I couldn't do it, man. And yeah, when I played, I think I only had 2 new Pokemon from this region on my team, and that was Smoliv and my actual starter. The rest was like returning Pokemon. I just didn't like any of the new ones. They were kind of weak to me, man. The designs were really sus. The Sir Cadet that evolves into Cerulege, and then the other one, I don't know how I feel about that. A lot of people are like, "Yo, this is sick," and to me, I'm seeing Mega Man Star Force, bro, and like Digimon. And now, don't get me wrong, I love Mega Man Star Force, but I want Pokemon to look like Pokemon. I feel like the designs overall have fallen off, and it's just not. It's not what it used to be, you know. And maybe I'm getting old. Who knows? But I don't know. I feel like they're just missing something. And as like a long-time Pokemon fan, I don't know, man. I'm starting to disconnect with like the route they've gone. Ever since like after Black and White, it feels like there's been like a dip in how Pokemon have looked, the story, everything. It's just nothing's been able to hold up to like the past 5 generations from that point. And I don't know if they're running out of ideas, but we haven't had like a fresh 150 in ages, you know? And that's something that I used to love to do, is start a new region, have like a full team of 6 new fresh Pokemon and just play. Now it's just, yeah, it's kind of whack, I can't lie. But that's just my personal gripes with the series so far. The legendary Pokemon, is it Miraidon and Koraidon? I personally don't like them. I'm sorry, I don't like them at all. Koraidon looks cool. Miraidon, I know it's the whole future tech vibe thing from the future. It's a cyborg robot. But when I learned what it actually was near the end of the game, that's what really like threw me off, which was the fact that it was basically a Sizzler, but just 3,000 years or something in the future, right? And in my mind, I'm like, so this isn't actually legendary Pokemon. Technically it is, you can say, but to me now it's like, no, it's not. It's just a future Pokemon, right? And we get to see some of the other like Paradox Pokemon, like Iron Hand and all those guys, right? But I'm like, if I had a Hariyama in the future and brought it back, is that a legendary Pokemon now? Like, what's happening? Someone explain it to me. I don't know. I'm kind of lost on that. But I personally didn't enjoy that. The AI Professor was, yeah, it was kind of, I don't know, man. To me, it was kind of weak. I miss when legendary Pokemon were like legendary. Like, they had like that presence to them. You're not scared, but it's like, oh, you're in awe. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is the legendary Pokemon. Because like, if you look at like Zekrom, Reshiram, you got Groudon, Rayquaza, like, do you know what I mean? Like, those type of legendaries are crazy. Mewtwo, etc. But then this is just, it's your plaything. It's a toy, you know? And for the plot of the game, I feel like there was not really like an actual urgent threat that kind of warranted you to play through the story to actually get to the end. I felt in this region, if you just didn't do anything, nothing would happen. You know, like if you just stayed at home, didn't do anything, nothing would actually happen. And I felt like that was, I don't know, there was no like urgency. Even the Team Star guys, I thought they'd play like a bigger role, but it didn't really. And talking about Team Star were cool, but again, they were kind of, yeah, I don't know, man. They just didn't hit. And Cassiopeia was cool. I think they missed out heavily. This would have been the perfect region to introduce a new Eevee because she had a full team of 6 Eevees. And I was like, yo, when she threw out all of them, I was like, okay, maybe the 6th one is a new Eevee type. No, there was no new Eevee. She just terrestrialized it. And I was like, okay. That would have been crazy. If they had a new Eevee form and she terrestrialized it into some other type, you know what I mean? Like, that would have been really cool. But they just missed out on it, and it was a really missed opportunity, I think. The gyms, I think the gyms were good, but they kind of fell into that same situation where they could have had something good, but they didn't. The gym terrestrialized into the exact same types. The gym that I fought, Brassius, I think that's the grass guy, he used his terrestrialized crystal to change his Pokemon into another grass type. I'm like, why haven't you got like a water or, you know, rock or something? It didn't make sense to me. So yeah, it was too easy. The Elite Four literally took me 2 minutes. I kid you not. I should have streamed it, but it literally took me like 2-3 minutes. There was no victory road. Yeah, there was a lot that just kind of felt like luster to me. And then the final battle with Geeta, she had no presence throughout the whole game. There was nothing to build her up. It was just really, really weak. I don't know. It felt too happy-go-lucky. And I feel like that's one of the things that made the game too easy, is like experience share was always on. There was no urgency to do anything. The battles were super easy. Terrestrialize, it was, yeah, I don't know. For me, overall, it was a good game. Music was great. They had cool characters, but the Pokemon designs were really weak. I didn't enjoy them. And yeah, that was kind of it for me, really. But overall, I think it's a good first attempt at an open world game, and they're getting somewhere with it. They just need to simplify everything, bring it back to basics, create a fresh new 150, get someone in to check out these designs, and then, yeah, just go from there. But we'll see what's in store. I'm really looking forward to the remake for Pokemon Black and White. As I said, that's my favorite generation. And I might even do in a video where I talk about my favorite gens from Gen 1 to 9, and I'll rank them all like a tier list alongside the starters I said I was going to do. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up, subscribe, post your comments down below, and let me know what you think. And yeah, stay tuned.